I have all of these ETFs paying me dividends, but are they actually profitable? Hey everyone, it's Legend. Hey, I just wanted to do a video on all of the ETFs that I have of the high yield ETFs. I'm going to show my Yieldmax, Defiance, and Round Hill ETFs that I have. Show how many shares I have, if they are up, down for the year, are they profitable or not. So let's check it out. Alright, so I made a spreadsheet of all of the ones I have of the high yield plays. I've listed it and organized it per the managed companies there. So I've got the Yieldmax at the top here. I've got Defiance, then my one Round Hill, and then I've got one with JP Morgan as well. I'm calling out each ticker symbol, what the underline is for each, the pay date, and the amount that was paid on that date. I'm showing what the price up was for the year or down, and if you add the dividend back in with the price, is it up or down in this column. So that will basically show if I am up or down in the play. I'm showing here the number of shares. In this column is the amount that I earned for this week. And then over here on the far right, we'll scroll over there in a bit, but I will be tracking what each week amount is generating and be able to see if I'm up or down percentage wise for each week and see what that estimated average earnings would be. So we'll start off here in the Yieldmax ones that I have, and I have all of these here. The Yieldmax, I start off with AMDY. The underline is AMD. The price, just the price itself, is down 43%. But when you add the dividend back in, it's at 8% up. So this one here is a little bit of a slow mover. It's a little above break even, basically. I'm looking for AMD to hopefully pick back up, but for now, this one here is a little on the low side, and I've got 769 shares of this one. BIGY, I just got into this one. This was a new one. This one's only been out for maybe a couple weeks. This one is using the big 50 companies. It's part of the Target 12 group of Yieldmax. The price is up 2.81%, and since it has not paid out a dividend yet, there's no change in adding the dividend back in. They have not paid one out. It has not been out for the full month. The Target 12 group will declare their dividends the first Tuesday of each month. That's when they will declare. It will go X that Wednesday and pay out that Thursday. Basically the first of the month payouts for the Target 12 ETFs with Yieldmax. CONY, the underline is Coinbase. It is down 29.42% on the price, but when you add the dividend back in, you're up 99.24% for the year. That's doing pretty well. MSTY, MSTY, the underline is MSTR. The price is up 67.75%. When you add the dividend back in, you're up 275.56%. That's probably the one that's up the most. MSTY has just been killing it. NVDY, NVDY, the underline is NVIDIA. They paid out this week of $1.18. They are up 13.65% on just price, and add the dividend back in, it's up 142.76%. So that one's doing well as well. PLTY, the underline is PLTR. It was Palantir. They paid out this week a dividend of $3.34. That one was great. That's one of the highest ones. I think this is the second payout for PLTY, but definitely the highest one. It's up 37.1% on just the price. Add the dividend back in, it's up 49.3%. 0.31%. SOXY, this is another new one with the target 12. This one has only been out for a few days. It's dealing with the semiconductors. So since it's only been out for a few days, there's not much really to use for figuring out what the percentages are, but it is up currently at the 0.12%, and since it's not paid a dividend out, that is the same. I'm hoping this one here with the semiconductors on SOXY, I'm hoping to see this one really take off. YMAX, this one uses all of YMAX's ETFs into one, so they use all of the available ETFs and do options through those. So this is the YMAX universe. They paid out 23 cents this week. The price for the year is down 6.28%. Add the dividend back in and it's up 35.06%. And of course, these are the number of shares in this column out here of what I have of each. Now, I haven't called out how many shares I have of each one, but you can see that on the screen here. IWMY uses the underline the Russell 2000. It's 25 cents they paid out this week. The price is down 45%, and when you add the dividend back in, it's up 16%. QQQY, which is another Defiance ETF, uses the underlying the NASDAQ 100. It's a 23 cents they paid out this week. They're down in price 36%. Overall, with the dividend rolled back in, it's 18% up. Last Defiance that I have is WDTE. S&P 500 is the underline. Paid out 20 cents. Down 6%, and add the dividend back in, it's up 3%. Now the Defiance ones here, they pay out weekly. Every week they pay out. So every week I am earning roughly about 23 cents an average for each one of these per share. QDTE is Round Hill. This one also pays out weekly. The underline is the Innovation 100 Index. Off of that, it made 23 cents for this week, down 6% for price, but up 20% when you add the dividend back in. And the last one I have is from JP Morgan. It's JEPQ. JEPQ. This is uses the underline of the JP Morgan Nasdaq equity. They paid out 50 cents. The price is up 18% for the year, and add the dividend back in and it takes it to up 30% for the year. This one here is more of a steady ETF, and I've got 135 shares on that one. And this last column are showing the amounts that I've earned for each for this week. NVDY paid out, so that paid me $65. PLTY paid out, paid me $87. Now I only have a few shares of each one of those. I got 26 shares of PLTY and 55 of NVDY. For YMAX, I've got 691 shares. It paid out $164.25. IWMY, I got 546 shares, paid out $140.32. QQQY, I got 546 shares, paid out $126.13. WDTE, 536 shares, paid out $108.06. QDTE, I got 136 shares, paid out $32.09, and JEPQ, 135 shares, paid out $68.62. So total those all up, and I earned $791.68 for this week. That does include the YMAX that paid out, but these here, NVDY and PLTY, do not pay out every week. So next week it will show different ones that will pay out. That will be CONY will pay out next week. So the next week when I show this, you won't see anything for NVDY and PLTY, but you'll see an amount earned for CONY. But whatever that week pays out, and of course these Defiance, my YMAX, my Round Hill, and my JP Morgan. Now I take that back. JP Morgan does not pay out every week. JP Morgan pays out once a month. So you won't see a number for JP Morgan either, but you will see for the Defiance and Round Hill, those pay out weekly, every week. So I'll always get something every week, but won't always get a dividend for NVDY and PLTY and such. The Yieldmax ones here will pay out monthly, and depending on what schedule that week is. They run on a schedule of Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D. So I started this one here with Group A. And Group A, I earned a total of $738.60. I do not have anything in Group A of Yieldmax. The only thing in Yieldmax that I have would be YMAX. That would have been part of that week A. So week A only included YMAX, IWMY, QQQY, WDTE, and QDTE. So all of those I actually earned $738.60. Week B, which is this week that just paid out, 12/6, I've earned $791.68. This little chart up above at top up here, it gives the current date. I'm adding up the total amount that I've earned, and then I'm estimating what my weekly return will be, my estimated monthly return would be, and my estimated yearly return, what that would be. So when I do all that, I'm going to also chart here to see if it's increasing or decreasing in my returns history chart here. So as you can see here, if we look here in this returns history chart, on 11/29 we earned that weekly of $738.60. So if I multiply that out times the 52 and then divide it by 12 for 12 months, that gives me an average of $3,200.60. Then if I take that monthly and multiply it times 12, I get $38,407.20 for the year. Since that's my first one that I'm actually using to record, I've been into this for a little bit, but I'm just now starting the record of it. So that means my first entry here would be a 0% increase. This is my first entry. This week, 12/6, I earned a weekly of $765.14. That gives me a calculated estimated average monthly of $3,315.61 and an estimated yearly return of $39,787.28. That gives me an increase of 3.47% from the previous week. This kind of is going to give me an idea of my potential yearly returns on the Yieldmax, Defiance, Roundhill, and the JP Morgan ETFs. And these are all high yield ETFs, but we'll be able to track that and to see if it's going up, down, or just staying flat. The way I'm actually working this, I am trying not to put any extra money into it. I am only using the dividends that I earn to purchase more shares of each one of these when they go ex-dividend. And the reason I say when they go ex-dividend is because that means that at that time, the dividend amount that they will be paying out will come out of the price of the stock. Therefore, that could potentially be a lower price in the stock price itself. So that is the point that I would be purchasing more shares in hopes to be able to get a better price for that stock that month or that week. Depends on which one of these ETFs that we're looking at or talking about. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. I hope I didn't confuse too many people here, but it was a lot to go over, a lot to go through. If you have questions, put them in the comments. Take time to scroll back, rewatch some of it. And like I said, if you have any concerns, comments, or questions, put them in the comments. I would appreciate that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.